I always try to say to people, imagine that you've got a child here, a little 3-year-old for some reason. You're like, look, horse, you're too close. You're freaking me out because of this little child here. And I say, defend your space as if there's a child, if you care about kids. I don't know. I do. So I'm going to ask again for backup. I'm going to say, you need to back up. Pay attention. Back up. Reach. Good. Okay. I reach for you too. That's good. Back up, please. Back up. Back up. Great. Okay. And reach. Yeah. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name's Graham. This is Maia. She's a BC Wildie here for some training. And I had some wonderful feedback on the last video I did with Little Miss, who's also a BC Wildie, on doing a longer form training video off the cuff, essentially. So I haven't done a single thing with her. She's essentially come straight out of her paddock. That won't do. Back up, please. Thanks. Stay there. And no, right there. Thanks. We haven't done a single thing. This is what we've done so far. We've come out here, I've turned the camera on, and my goal today is to have a saddle on her. Now, I've done it before. I've done it, I guess, a couple times now. 3 times maybe? Anyhow, my point is that I want to do my usual leading and groundwork and stuff like that, and keeping on improving on what we've done in the past. Hopefully get a couple of gait changes here and there while we do our groundwork, but with a saddle on, because she will be ridden one day. And the idea is that the things that we're going to do, no, I just wanted your face back, that's all. The things that I'm going to do, or for riding, the things that we do now with a saddle on, will help manage the riding in the future more, the more we get her used to having things on her. Yep, you can stand back there, it's okay. So one of the things I guess I'll start off with is this right here. Horses that sort of have an attention span of a gnat. And it's okay to ask them to sort of stay with you quiet. There's lots of times that horses are just standing around doing nothing anyways. Just because they're with you, and we start to imagine, well, they must be very interested in this, that, and the other. It's sort of, it's really, I find it's really important, not necessarily to micromanage everything. I don't want to micromanage her. She'd like a scratch, so we have to get on with the scratching because she's thinking about rolling. So I have to get on with scratching. It's a very roly-poly place. Anyways, so what I want her to do is I want her to pay attention, be with me, because I'm with her. We are connected with this rope. This rope never gets put, well, very rarely gets put down on anything and never gets tied to anything. It is always, we are one and the same. We are connected for efficient communication, I guess is the best way to put it. So, yes, I see you coming in now. So there's a difference between micromanaging and just proper managing. So when horses want to kind of wander around and you're standing there and they're going here and going there and doing whatever, we don't really want that to happen. They're tuning you out, they don't really care, and you'll have a harder time sort of getting them back like that. And I would like that to be really instantaneous. So can you please back up? Yep, thank you. There's another way of backing up. So as you've seen, I backed her up this way, and I backed her up with a hand on her face, and I'm just giving a little pressure. She says, get off my face. And I say, I need you to back up, there. And then she steps forward like a little rebounding rubber band. I say, no, stay back there. Okay. And even though this is small, it's vital. Plenty of times my horses will just stand there. You've seen Lena, obviously. They just stand there and wait because I'm standing here and waiting. And there's nothing wrong with that. It can be a very peaceful coexistence by doing such a thing. And teaching them how important it is to you to not move. So this is where my groundwork starts. This doesn't look like much, but this is groundwork. Now, oh, see, She says, I'm busy. I've got places to go and people to see. Well, not while with me. And this is a very short part of her part. Can I please speak this morning? This is a very small part of her day. Back more. Thanks. Stay. Back more. Okay. And be particular, because you're going to want to be particular throughout the rest of your life with your horse. Nothing wrong with being particular. And this is not a harsh and hard thing to do. It's literally, please stand there. I am standing here. And the other thing that I would recommend is, if you've got the time for it, to look up my safety circle video, because there are plenty of times when horses are up and they're really worried, and you try to imagine a bit of a safety circle around you and say, I'm going to keep you out of this because it's safer for me. And you'll be fine. Okay, so let's get some scratchings done. And I didn't bring any brushes out, so my hands are it. So I want to draw. There, now you can finally come. And I want to come over and I want to be able to touch. Okay, so I'm going to come bring her forward just to make sure we're in frame, put us in the center of frame so you guys can see what's going on a little bit here. So this is essentially a grooming procedure. Grooming, categorized as grooming. We want to check out to see if they've got any, because I'm going to put a saddle on, see if she's got any sand or gravel or whatever kind of things that they get in their fur when they roll around and stuff. Now a horse may want to wander around a little bit. Sometimes I'll kind of let them. I'm not going to be too harsh on that. I need the other side of your body, please. Okay, watch your horse for these reactions as well. They might be thinking, I don't want you on that side though. I want you back on the other side. But we want to define the grooming process, because if you watch horses groom, the lead horse always sets the side up. So there she stepped back a little. That's great. Maybe she needs a little bit of some touchings. Either way, we check that out a little bit and then switch sides. And it's okay. I would recommend switching sides a lot. Oh God, I better not touch my face with that hand. And, you know, checking out if they switch easy. And generally I'll kind of come along and I'll just keep switching sides until it's really smooth. So that's not smooth yet. So I'll ask to come over. I'll come over here, continue to check and say, I'm the groomer. You know, I'm not as a boss. Hey, don't leave. Okay, not as a boss or sort of like being too, that was a little easier. Oh, just got my way again. So I want to switch sides. And I already know that Maia's a little bit one-sided. So I've been trying to work on this side, but it takes time. You know, it takes time. Oh. I'll come back around on this side. And horses have a tough time changing eyes, oddly. You know, so I've kind of checked out that she doesn't have any gravel. She doesn't have anything sort of stuck in her fur and stuff like that. So I'm just going to continue. I'm going to prep my turn. That's a little bit better. And then I might just do less. Now, if I kind of feel like she's escaping sort of the back end a little, I might chase it a bit. I might just keep rubbing and touching until she stops. And I just want to check out all the little tiny gaps that I might be having. There's a nice stop. So I'll continue a little bit and then work my way back around. And this is sort of the beginning of my groundwork, of my work on the ground. You're on the wrong side. There. 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 So because the lead is in this hand, I need her to stay on that side, and I'm covered in here. But that's the life of being with a horse. So I don't want her to wrap around this side. I want to be on this side because I planned that. Even though I'm a little disorganized with my rope. I planned that because I want to keep working on this side of her body. And she'd like to give me her other side. So not bad. I think we have a pretty calm horse. I'm quite happy with that. It's time to saddle. So saddling has been very successful with her. Putting things on her back has been very successful. Before coming here, with her current owner, she has had a range sheet on. And so she's had some time to have things on her. And I don't really see a change in her. I might ask for her head to come down a little and just chill out with me. Having a horse have their head down a bit is a nice thing. We'll be able to notice sort of the problems that they might have. You know, so if I go to take this on and off, I ask for her head down, for example, and maybe I can ask her to stay down. So there it stays down. If I put this on, will it go up? Maybe a little. Maybe she sort of checks that out a little. And I want to be very sensitive to this stuff because it'll give me an idea whether or not I'm having trouble. Now, I don't believe I'm having any trouble, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this saddle on. Now I know I'm going to get 100 comments saying, hey, what kind of saddle do you use? Well, this particular one is the brand Barefoot. It's a treeless saddle. It's kind of an endurance saddle. Hi, can I just chuck this on real quick, please? So there she's moved. And I have to make a decision at this point. Do I want to put her back or just settle for this? And I think I'm going to settle this time. And I'm just going to chuck it on. And I already know the girth goes down just fine, so I'm going to put that down the other side. Puh, hair everywhere. Now, I don't remember who this was on last, so I'm kind of hoping the girth is long enough to reach at least the straps, which it is, thank goodness. And we'll get this on. Now, you might be thinking, wow, why can she handle that? And the answer to that is I have no idea. I really don't. First time I did it, she had no problems. In case she wants to move a smidge, I'll say, no, you're on my rope. Okay, so it's on enough that if for some weird reason she were to go sideways, it'll stay. It's a nice looking bird, wasn't it? Birds are so noisy in the morning. If she were to go a little bit sideways, I'm gonna ask for her head down. She does look a little alert, so I might have her release. Sometimes when you release them like that, they wanna walk a little. So I'll just ask for down again. And she's got a bit of a hard eye. I don't know if you guys can see that. So, hi, you gonna make it? So I wanna check all this out and I don't wanna go any further. I'm just gonna have her forward. I'm gonna have her come forward a little bit more. A little bit more, there, something like that. Okay, now, high head, sort of stiff neck, a little bit of stiff body here. I'm just going to have this on one more notch, just in case. But I actually think she's more worried about something else. I haven't really got the feeling that it's the saddle that's really bugging her. I think she's got some other things on her mind. But I'm going to ask for her head down anyways. Ask her to sort of communicate back to me. Now, when she puts her head down, what I notice is a bit of a curve to her. So it just indicates stiffness in the back and the sort of shoulders to me. Instead of a release from up here, it's not. So I just want her to stretch out and find some relief. And she might not be able to right away, but I want to check that stuff out. I don't want to leave her. I'm going to ask her to back up actually, just a smidge here. Sometimes backing up into the pressure of, if it's the saddle, there we go. Oh, if it's the saddle, the backing up becomes quite hard. There, it's a bit better. Still a little tight and a bit of a jack in the box. So I want her to go down and stay down. One more time. And this is great practice, you know. I know we're really close to the camera. A little bit more. A little more. There you go. You should find a happy place because I know that she can do this without a saddle on. Okay, let's come away from the camera a little. I'll lead, I'll draw. Okay, and I'll draw a little more and I'll ask her to stop and then I'll ask her to back up. Back up. Don't move your head. Back, just back, move your feet. Go, back up. So, ho. Okay. So with a little bit of trouble showing, I'm just going to continue to be big. And I teach this to my kids. So I'm demonstrating it here. Big and a little bit loud. And I might ask for a backup there. 1, 2. and I'll come back and I'll reset this, because being big monkey hands, you know, it's weird and it looks awkward. But I essentially want her to back up without moving her head. So I ask for her head back and I'll say back up. So if this doesn't work, I might even just do this. There. Okay. So I need to cover this because in the last video I got a couple of people that were kind of obstinate about this technique. Straighten out, please. I need 2 eyes and 2 ears if I can have them. The rope is not, it's a tool to use sort of as a last, can you please pay attention a little bit? As a last resort. I don't want to always be using my rope. What I want to do is I want to say back up. And if that doesn't work, then I have to yell. And she won't back up. So I'm going to straighten out again, come back here and back up. And if that doesn't work, then I'll come in and I'll remind her of what I'm asking for. But the rope is really, it's almost a kindergarten level tool. You know, the fact that I have to use it means that she hasn't listened to all the other stuff. So I'm actually going to overcompensate because she always wants to go that way and put me in that eye. So I'm going to overcompensate and I'm going to come over here, and it didn't work. So I'm going to do even more. And I've got my, here, maybe I can show you guys. But I want to block a little. So back up, back up, back up. So what I'll do when I sort of see this, she's not freaking out as you can see, but she is a little bit worried about that backup. And it could be because of the saddle. It could be because the sun's that way. I don't know, who cares? Okay, so I'm gonna be more on this side and I'm gonna come over. You see how fast her head comes over? And I don't wanna hit her, but I do want to kind of be here, there. Okay, so this tool here is, honestly, it's kindergarten. It shouldn't be happening. So what I want to do is I want to start raising up, raising up, raising up, raising up, up, swing. There's movement, but it's not backwards. More. There's back. Okay, so I really had to yell. This is not something that I want to have to keep up. I don't want to have to do this. I'm going to just check the nose there, compensate. Overcompensate, unfortunately. I can't be in front of her because she keeps wanting to give me the other eye. So I'm going to be ready to block. This is going to indicate back. She should be moving backwards. And then I'll come in with my rope, fix the nose, block a little more, overcompensate a little bit more. Back. That way, please. And come over here. There. Okay. So there's a bit of a backup. Now I'll draw. Because we've done a lot of worrying, we've done a lot of driving, we want to draw. And you see still she kind of curves this way. So this would be my project today. This would be what I would work on. I wouldn't even move on to the next thing. I'd say, oh, you know what? I think we found a gap. And so I'll ask for her backup. And she says, I don't know. There. Can you check in with me, please? Hello. Thanks for listening up. Okay, so we'll try again. Try again. Again. Swish, swish. She leaned. I might slow down on that. The door's moving. It's a little windy today. That way. Ask again. Swish, swish. Good job. Okay. Head down. I might say, you know, you look really worried. You should chill out. The reason she wants to give me the other eye is she's worried or afraid or feels like she needs to escape, and she's got a habit of going a particular way and wanting safety on one side and danger on the other. So I'm just going to keep discovering gaps. So I'll try again. I'll start with what I want, go to what I have to do, and that's that. I got a step. Now a step is fine. Ask for little. Here we go again. And I'm going to get a bit bigger in my body. I'm leaning in a little. Now I'm going to swing again. And get her a little worried. Check that back. Check it back. Try again. No, see, she already knows what's coming. There. Okay, so I didn't have to swing that time. Draw. because she's been worried. So I want to draw. I want to say, we are best friends, but you really need to listen to my quiet. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a chore, but I want this solid because I want to be able to stand next to my horse and just be like, hey, back up, back up, back up. I'm going to try this, but I think, yeah, see, that's what I expected. So if a horse, what's going to end up happening, move your bum over, please. Thanks. What's going to end up happening if you let that slide for a while is they'll end up just escaping. Their nose will go that way, their butt will come this way, and out of fear, they'll twist and turn, and then they'll kick on their way away. So what I want to do is I don't want her afraid, okay? So I don't want her to be there. That's plenty. That is so good. We want to say, I really appreciate that. Can you, the only thing better you could possibly do is reach to me after you've backed up. That would be just wonderful. There's no fear to be placed in there other than if you are in a position that I always try to say to people, imagine that you've got a child here, a little 3-year-old for some reason. You're like, look, horse, you're too close. You're freaking me out because of this little child here. And I say, defend your space as if there's a child, if you care about kids. I don't know. I do. So I'm going to ask again for a backup. I'm going to say, you need to back up. Pay attention. Back up. Reach. Good. Okay, I reach for you too. That's good. Back up, please. Back up. Back up. Great. Okay, and reach. Yeah. So I have to reach with the lead rope. Lead rope's a cheat. Remember, when we've got these lead ropes, we're cheating. We're tied to them, and they're tied to us in a way if we don't let go. Okay, I'm going to try to center myself a little bit and see if I can get what I want. Center. Back up. Back up. Oh, good girl. And I still maintain the right eye. So this is a funny little gap. Again, you know, I've got to solve this. Some noises going on over there. Okay, let's see what time we're at because this camera cuts out at 30 minutes and I think we've gone quite a ways. 21. All right. Okay, so with that half solved, I'm still going to maintain that I want to be on this side of her body because I'm going to end up having to overcompensate for a little while yet. I'm not worried about that. But now I'm going to check this again. Again, back up. Good, good. So I don't have to yell anymore. And so back to what I was trying to say about the rope. The rope is not something that I want to use. A flag is not something that I want to use. What I want to use is a bit of my body if I pick up or my hands pick up. And then unfortunately, if I have to use the rope, well, then I have to use the rope a little bit. Come with me, please. Okay, so that's a good one there. She's calm. I'll ask for a backup. Back up. She moves her head. I'm unhappy with that. It's unfortunate. So we'll correct. And I'll come over here a little bit. I'll say, you need to back up. Back up. There. Okay, so I had to yell just a smidge there. I'm unhappy with that. I don't like that. I don't want that to be. So I'll reach for this eye again because it's the not so good eye. Can you check in? There you go. Okay, now back up. And even though it's tiny, see, I still don't have it. She's still going to move the other way. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to correct my angle. I don't want her flipping around and stuff. I want to be sideways to the camera if I can. And that's just my preference. And that's okay. So I'll switch hands and I'll say, can you back up, please? There. Okay. All right. So this is just an idea. You don't have to do this. I always feel like I have to put in this little disclaimer. This is just an idea. Do this, don't do this. Think about it, don't think about it. Is it a tool in your toolbox? Maybe. Back up. Okay. What I don't want to do, actually, I'll put in another thing I feel quite strongly about. I don't want to do this. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. And the reason is this is my direction hand. And I don't want to drive with my direction hand. And I also don't want to be flicking that darn thing all over their face, especially if there's a clip underneath here. You hit them in the chin. There's a very popular video out there by Linda Pirelli who just went ballistic on this horse, and there was a clip under there, and she was swinging this sling like no tomorrow. And there was an uproar in the horse community, and she's like, well, that's the way I do it. I just thought, ugh, we don't want to do that. We can use this hand a little bit to sort of be big, and if the rope moves, well, that's the way it is. But we want to drive with the tail. This is the tail of us. Hey, thanks. Okay, so I'm overcompensating still, unfortunately. Got a bit of wind coming in. Hello. Hi. Okay, so ask for a backup. I don't mind wind. Back up. So I still have to yell. So the gap is still there. This is something that I want to work on. And then once I feel like I'm comfortable with this, it's not hard work. We can keep this up for a little bit. We'll move on to the next thing, which would be some groundwork and stuff. But I'm going to leave this at that. This might be something that some people have trouble with, keeping your horse at a distance, out of your safety circle, with style, with just being able to do something like this or this, you know. Yeah, see? And then sooner or later, you can just kind of shake a finger a little bit, and that'll be effective as well. And we'll kind of work towards that, to where we can just be very quiet. And she'll listen, and she'll pay attention. She has to pay attention enough to watch the little movements, and it'll work. So that's it for this one. It's another off-the-cuff training video for those that are interested in this kind of thing. Maya's been an absolute saint throughout this whole process. You see, she doesn't freak out. We're not trying to instill fear. She still wants to kind of hang around and stuff, which is really nice. And we're just going to continue on. So that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next one.